Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Elisa Sklar. So thank you very much for joining us today. Very excited about today's session. I'm super pleased to be able to talk to you about how to add virtual site visits to your economic development website. Very excited about that. In order for us to do that, I just want to tell you a little bit about who we are. Many of you, of course, will know us, but that isn't always the case. So we are GIS Planning. We have been in the industry for over 22 years. We're the ones who invented the whole concept and practice of online corporate site selection with GIS data tools. GIS for non-GIS people, user-friendly, intuitive, drag and drop, easy to use. And of course, many of you will know Zoom Prospector, which is the industry-leading online GIS software for economic development. And you're welcome to visit us at gisplanning.com, of course. So what we're going to talk about is why and how we have built virtual tours and the various options for custom tours into Zoom Prospector. Now, if you are not a client, this will still be useful to you because you'll get an overview of the importance of virtual tours, the different options for doing that, some third-party vendors that are not affiliated with us in any way, what those things can look like, what you might want to be looking for. You'll, of course, have an opportunity to answer questions. What you see on the screen right now is a screenshot from Zoom Prospector. This is from MiamiDadesites.com, the Beacon Council site in South Florida. And just to kind of show you the kind of basic property reports that you would get in there, and then the options in the property report for virtual tours. So that's something that we added, I guess, probably this summer, and it's been incredibly popular. Now, we know, of course, that virtual tours are more critical than ever in 2020. There's no question that as the pandemic seems to be stretching onwards, we don't know what that's going to mean in terms of travel. Site selection has absolutely slowed, especially FDI, but site selection in general. Doesn't mean it has stopped. We know it is still continuing, but it is more important than ever. In fact, it's absolutely critical that people be able to represent themselves online, to showcase their sites and properties, to showcase their regions, actually, all of that information that they might not otherwise be able to see if they can't get on a plane or easily come and travel over to you. So some of the things that we want to think about when it comes to virtual tours, of course, is that virtual tours help leads qualify themselves. We know that. And basically the idea is that it gives you greater reach for every site and building because more prospects will be interested by the fact that they now have access to additional information in those virtual tours or site walkthroughs. Now, obviously, virtual tours give you the opportunity to showcase property attributes using this additional media, and that lets you focus on key attributes or features of properties that might be of particular interest. You know, we have hundreds and hundreds of clients around North America and around the world, and we've seen just so many different kinds of things. So you might have a property, and one of the distinguishing features is that it's got 20-foot high doors. Well, that's something that if you're running a facility that manufactures wind turbines, that's really interesting, and you might not otherwise catch that, but if you can look through the videos and see the walkthrough, and it's something that it can be focused on in a virtual tour, that it will be eye-catching. Now, obviously, this avoids unnecessary travel. We've certainly seen absolutely at the long list process, but certainly at the short listing process as well, that you can maintain the site selection process despite travel restrictions, and that overall you get a greater return on your investment because it's expensive and time consuming, of course, to travel. If now businesses and investors and site selectors can do more of that due diligence and make decisions without having to hop on a plane or do long travel, then that absolutely is to their benefit. And it means that those properties that have that additional information are more likely to be considered. Now, eye-catching marketing, that is absolutely true. And I've seen so many great examples of our clients already using this. Shout out to Detroit Regional Partnership, to Spruce Grove up in Canada, people who are using these beautiful visuals, especially when it comes to the Google Earth imagery, which is moving and is very, very eye-catching. it just gets people's attention. It cuts through the clutter. And when it comes to place marketing, that is so critical. So what I'm seeing is clients using featured properties and then using that beautiful video imagery that you can catch from the Google Earth flyover rotation. It's easy to share on social media, in e-newsletters, online presentations, whatever it is that you're doing, it catches people's attention and they're more likely to remember it. So that is absolutely critical. Now, the other thing about helping leads qualify themselves is important because especially when you think of the Google Earth flyover rotation, is that you get a really good sense of the setting for that property. So is it undeveloped sites around it? Is it brownfield? Is it proximity to a river? What are the adjacent properties? And that's true if you're looking Google Street View, if you're using, a custom tour options, putting in 3D architectural renderings, whatever that is, it just gives us that additional context that is so, so critical. So here are just some examples of different kinds of virtual tours. Now, obviously, the 360 virtual tours is something that we have included automatically for every client, every single property in their system. It's already in there. If you're a client of ours and you haven't checked this out, go to any of the properties in your system and click on virtual tour. It's absolutely beautiful and very eye-catching. So digital flyovers, of course, other things that we can support are really any kind of media at all. So 3D architectural renderings, 3D rotation, Google Street View is something else we provide. If you've got drone video, some interactive interiors, other kinds of custom tours, those are all examples of what can be a virtual tour. So there isn't any simple one thing. There's some that we're just providing as part of the system, but there's really no end at all to the kinds of things that you can add in there as well. So we'll start with the 360 virtual tour. As I said, this is automatically now included for every property in every location that is using Zoom Prospector. And to do this, we are using Google Earth, which is familiar to everyone. Everybody knows Google. There is no training. There's no questions. There's no, how do you do this? You simply just need to click on it and it will take you. I'm going to show you an example in a minute. And what this gives you is a digital flyover with coordinates so that you can actually go in and see. So let's take a look at a couple of them. Now, the Google Earth flyovers, of course, work beautifully for both rural and for urban locations. I'm going to click on one here so we can go over that. It runs a little bit more slowly when I'm running a GoToMeeting at the same time. So just bear with me here. I'm going to click over on the virtual tour, bring us over to see what that actually looks like. Now, the nice thing about Google Earth is it takes you from the last place you were. In this case, I guess I was over on the West Coast looking at another property, and it brings you right in with that flyover. So right now you get to see where that property is situated. You get to see what's around it. You get a sense, obviously, this is in a dense urban location, that it's by the water, what that actually looks like, and it gives you the opportunity to move in if you want to. Now, at this point, if you want to drop the little Google guy down there and do a street view, then that's certainly possible as well. You can drop that in there, and that will take us right down up to the street view so that I can see what that actually looks like. If I want to, zoom out slightly, I can do that. I can have a look around the property. Oh, I'm at the building across the way, it appears. I've zoomed out a little bit too much, but that still gives you a chance to see up close as it's rendering a little bit more clearly, made slower by GoToMeeting, of course. That brings you down there. So that really is actually quite fantastic. I'm just going to give you another example here. This one is going to take us over to another location. So we're just going to wait. This is the Gateway Cog Council of Governments over on the West Coast. We're going to want to search in their real estate down here. We've got a property that I already selected. So the last place we were was over in Florida. It's going to zoom us over to the West Coast. So we'll be able to go over there and see actually what that looks like. So fasten your seatbelts. We're heading over there now, and that takes us over to this location. So still urban, a little bit less dense, but we still get a sense of the proximity to the water and all of the things down there. Now, every one of your site users knows Google. So everybody is automatically familiar with that and knows that there are tools within here that they can use if they want to go to 2D. We see where we are on the globe. This is great also for FDI because it helps position people. We get our coordinates up there if you want to. So it just really is a simple, elegant way for everyone who is using this tool to be able to come in and see exactly where you were. I'm going to take us over to a rural property just so you can see what that looks like. Again, you'll just have to bear with us as I open the virtual tour. Is there undeveloped property around there? What actually is it? Look, is it industrial? What is actually going on in that particular region so that we can get a better sense of where we are? So just a very different kind of look, obviously a lot more green. You've got the Illinois River right over there. You can see that there's a bridge. And it just puts us in different places. So regardless of where you are, this is going to work. And it's still going to just give you this fabulous location that's built right into the tool so that you're able to understand a little bit more clearly some things about the property and how it's actually going to work for you. So let's take a look over to, I'm just going to maximize our screen over here. Let's take a look at some of the other options that you've got. So in addition to this virtual tour, which we have built in automatically, already added for every single property, for every single client using Zoom Prospector, hundreds and hundreds of clients, we've also added the ability to put in a custom tour. Now this button only shows up when a custom tour has actually been added. And that's important to know. We really place emphasis on the fact that we don't want to show any empty fields. We want to make sure that people can see, only get the features and functionality that is useful to them. So that's just it's a UX thing that is really important, user experience element. So in this case, what you're seeing is that there is a custom tour button added on the screenshot that I've taken, and you can put anything you want in there. So if you've got 3D architectural renderings, if you've got animation, if you've got immersive video, interactive interiors, drone video, drawings, anything else that you actually want to put in there, you definitely can. And we really wanted to make sure that we don't limit our clients. And we are really the only vendor that, first of all, gives you something that's automatically built in for every single property, because you can't assume that every broker and every listing is going to take the time to invest in producing additional media for a interactive tour. That isn't reasonable. It's certainly not going to happen all the time. You don't want to add in the additional work for having to load that if it doesn't exist. But if it does exist, if you've got those beautiful 3D architectural renderings or the drone video or anything else, then by all means, this is the opportunity to add it in there. And then that's easily done at the back end of your system, and then you'll have that button appear. Now, there are some really nice ways to add this. We've got some examples of just other vendors who are doing a great job producing these custom tours. And so what we want to see there is we've got, we want to be able to add any vendor that you're using. So Golden Shovel Agency has done a really beautiful job with VR video, immersive video, marketing video. You can see that Neon Cloud Productions also has done a really fantastic job with that. So you can check out some of the things that they're actually using. So these Raoul Interiors, this is produced by Kevin Lackey's Lackey Tours, and he's in South Carolina. And what they've done is they have put together this ability for you to walk through a building, and to do that in different kinds of ways, so that they send in their cameras, or they're able to work with other people, and you can actually go through the interior by looking in different shots. So let's take a look at that. So here is the front of the building, which is a kind of video. You can then go to first floor. You can see that there's the kind of layout of the building. But now we've also got the ability to look from side to side, so it's kind of immersive. This is the front of the building. This will take you to the front entry hall as well. You can then go in and see what it looks like. Now, anytime there's a blue button, you can click on that. That'll take us through to that particular, so it literally gives you the opportunity to walk through the building and see what those things actually look like. So I actually think that's quite an elegant way to do that. So let's see if we've got some other examples here. We've got the rear entry also is another way for you to be able to see that. So here we go. And I'm going to show you another one over here. Let's go back over to this side. And let's see, I'm just going to stop the sharing here for 1 second so that I can bring you over to another example that you can take a look at. There we go. So in this case, I'm going to show you another one of their tools. This is built in another one of their tours. This one, I believe, is built into the front here. Let's take a look at this. So we've got another example of plans that you can walk through. You can click through on any one of the blue dots, as we said before, and that is another way to actually go through and check that out. You can go to employee parking. You can see what the loading dock looks like. This is really a really nice way actually to do that. And in fact, if you click over on one of our properties here in Zoom Prospector, you can see that this is something that we've been able to load in for them. So here's a custom tour actually. So that is, that's just like a really kind of nice, easy way to be able to build this in there. And again, if you're not there in person, this just still gives you definitely an excellent sense of how you can actually do that. So let's go back and we are going to do that. So here we go. I'm going to bring us back over. I have another video here actually that I'd like to show you. So these are videos. This one is actually produced by Neon Cloud. I'm going to play this for you. No, I'm not going to play the whole video, but this is an opportunity for you to see another way that this actually might work. Let's see if we can take a look at that. All right, I think they've done a really elegant job of showing that. I'm going to show you a couple more minutes of, I think I'll show the whole one of this one, but another Neon Cloud production. So the one you just saw obviously was for a specific facility, which I thought was really well done. This one is a value proposition for a region.
Escape 2. Marble Falls. Nadia? Yes?
Yes? Hey, Daddy.
What are you guys doing here?
We're playing. Yeah.
Good catch.
Say thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. Come on, for Daddy.
Hey girls, Daddy's gotta go, but can you give me a kissy? I'll be back soon.
Okay.
I'm going to give you another short video from Golden Shovel. They've done these really interesting videos to visit for tourism, but it has to do, of course, with economic development as well for northeastern Oregon. This is Harney County. So let's go back and take a look at this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you links to those videos in the follow-up email today. And in fact, you're going to see them in the over here in the Prezi anyway. You can go over to their sites, and I just really want you to be able to. These are just some vendors that we've worked with, that our clients have worked with, that have been really super happy, and I think they really do a fantastic job. Golden Shovel does some really interesting stuff with virtual reality, and that you can either use your screen, just mouse to move around, or you can use those simple Google VR goggles that many of you in Oculus Shift goggles. You can send them to people. They're very inexpensive. You can get the cardboard version, and it lets you kind of experience that virtual reality, and it really is quite remarkable. Some other things that I would like to show you here today, just as a quick preview of a new product. You're getting the first glimpse of it that's going to be coming very shortly. This is Zoom Tour, and this is going to be an ability to give people an interactive tour of your region. And you can have multiple Zoom tours. You can have one that shows the recreation culture of your area, take people through museums and concert halls and bike paths. You can have another one showing an industry sector, for example, aerospace. There will be different destinations along the tour and media that is built in there. It's going to be absolutely a game changer, and we're looking forward to getting that out to market. Coming up soon, so follow what's here. This is kind of a complement, but it could be a standalone thing. We have heard clients who, a couple of clients who've seen it, who said that they may even use it as a way to kind of replace or enhance what they have already on their website. So interactivity, absolutely key in 2020 and going forward. Just a couple things about how do you actually add these things. So the Google Earth 360 virtual tour, the street view rotation, the 3D rotation, all automatically added for every single property in your system. It's already there. The custom tours is something that you can quickly and easily upload in the Zoom Prospector admin in the back end of your system. It's very easy to do. You just upload the files. If you go into your admin for any specific property, you indicate what you want to upload for custom tour. The custom tour button will then appear on that property report, and it's really easy to actually put in there. Of course, our client support is always there to answer your questions, and if you are a client and you want to know a little bit more about how this works, you'll see that our client services information is over there as well. I work with our clients to help them understand and be as successful as possible using these tools to promote their locations and their sites and properties. And of course, if you're interested in learning more and you're not yet a client, then reach out to sales@gisplanning.com. A couple things, I do see some questions here, so I want to make sure I can get them. Yes, this session is going to be recorded, and I will be sharing that with all of you. Helene wants to know how you stop the Google Earth aerial from spinning. You can go into settings on Google Earth, and you can, from settings, choose end animation or fly end animation, and choose a setting that suits you better. So it is possible to stop from the spinning. If that makes you feel a bit queasy, then absolutely something you can do. Someone asked a really good question. Kim, what if the Google map is not up to date and the map isn't accurate to showcase new construction? Well, we are working with Google, so Google's generally fairly responsive. If you notice that there is something that is completely out of date in their imagery, then there is a way to contact them so that you can ask them to update that. It is true, as things get built, you might not necessarily immediately see that. If you have other images that are more up to date, then you can certainly put that in the custom tour section of there. Another question is, we are in the process of shooting drone footage of a couple of industrial parks with the owner doing an audio overview. Can this be uploaded? Absolutely, that would be a fantastic custom tour option that you can put in there. You can definitely add that. And of course, all of this can also be added to our proposal generator or online. Any of this custom media, either for the region as a whole or for any of the specific properties that will be on the property card. So there are multiple ways to take advantage of this. Is this technology available to small rural clients of GIS planning? Absolutely. So Google Earth has images for everywhere. It is true that you will find the images in denser urban areas more granular, so you'll be able to zoom in more, get a little bit closer. If you are in a very rural or remote area, that may not be as good. In the US and Canada, it tends to be pretty good. I'm often surprised actually by how excellent it is. But there's no question that the level of granularity of the imagery and the ability to zoom in further is better in the dense urban areas. However, because you have this custom tour option, it now becomes very easy and possible for you to add any additional imagery that you or your broker or the client might have that you can put in there. If you have any other questions, then you feel free to reach out to me at any point. You can contact me at asklar@gisplanning.com. Again, if you are not yet a client and you'd like to learn more about what this might mean for your region, sales@gisplanning.com. And if you are already a client and you have questions about how we can help you implement that, or you want to learn more, reach out to support@gisplanning.com. I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your very busy days. You will get a follow-up email by tomorrow with a link to the video recording of this. I will include links to the videos so that you can see them in all their glory without having the compression that GoToWebinar seems to insist upon. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day. Be well. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.